Sean's Nails, the ultimate nail salon with the ultimate nail experience. Have your nail done by one of South Florida's best nail tech. Come on down and be pampered by one of the best in the business. At Sean's Nail Salon, everyone feels at home. Our nail techs will go above and beyond to ensure that you get the best of your experience. With a 5.0 Google review, who will want to go anywhere else? Sean's Nails is located at 3201 Inverara Boulevard. That's in Lauderhill. So call now and make your appointment at 954-444-1474. That's 954-444-1474. Visit Sean's Nails for the ultimate manicure and pedicure experience. They will leave you singing.
Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, beautiful day, beautiful day, yeah.
This is Nigel Blair from BMG Tax and Accounting Services. Whether you're a small business owner, a manager at a medium-sized corporation, or a self-employed freelancer, the team at BMG Tax and Accounting Services is here for you. We offer comprehensive bookkeeping and tax services designed to keep your finances in check. Keeping track of your finances takes a fair amount of time, energy, and patience, and you probably have a lot of other things on your plate. So don't struggle to keep up with all that number crunching and paperwork. Our bookkeeping services are designed to make your life easier so you can focus on what you do best. At BMG, we're dedicated to client satisfaction and we're prepared to go the extra miles to earn your business and trust. We pride ourselves on attention to detail in all that we do, and we're ready to put our skills and knowledge to work for you. For more information about our services or to schedule a consultation,
week of CASA, and I tell you, over the last 6 weeks we have had some tremendous games both in the Masters League and in the Super League. This weekend was actually no different. We had 4 exciting games this weekend. Unfortunately, our game on Wednesday was canceled because of the weather we have here in South Florida. But nevertheless, we had our games on Saturday. 4 fantastic games. Our first game we had was our Masters game. We had Black Riders going up against Sierra Leone, which Black Riders defeat Sierra Leone 4-0. Our second game was the Legends going up against Rockers FC. Now that game was an exciting game. Rockers FC demolished the Legends 7-0, and I think that was the most exciting game of the evening, to be honest with you, in the Masters. The third game in the Masters was the defending champion Old Timers going up against Attackers FC, and that game also was a great game, ending a 1-1 draw. That was actually the second draw for the Old Timers, which of course you know Old Timers is our defending champs. They have been the Masters champion for the last 4 years, and I think this year, I don't know, let's see who can take them down this year, even though the coach said no one can take them down, but let's see. And then we had in our Super League game, we had Ingenious going up against the Sharks of Palm Beach, and that game ended in a 3-1 victory for the Palm Beach Sharks. Now, the league And the Super League, standing on top of the league are the All-Stars. I tell you, there's a reason why they're called the All-Stars. This is a team that came together. This is their first year in the Casa Super League. First year for the team, not for the players. This is a team that's made up of all-star players, and they actually are keeping their rank. They're standing on top of the league right now in first place, followed by the Sharks of Palm Beach in second place. Broward FC, another new team in the league this year, a young team. They are in third place, followed by Ingenious in fourth place, and Rockers FC, who is actually the runner-up from last year. They're sitting in fifth place. FC International sitting in sixth place, and of course the champions of last season for the Super League is sitting on bottom of the list in eighth place or seventh place actually. In the Masters League, Old Timers of course is still sitting in first place, even though they had they're undefeated. They have a draw the last two games, so we look forward to see which Masters team are going to take them down. Sitting in the second place for the Old Timers, actually for the Masters, is the Legend FC. In third place, Rockers FC. Fourth place, Juventus, and Juventus has moved up the list. In fifth place, we have Black Riders. There's another new team in the Masters this year, followed by Attackers, and in seventh place we have Friends United. Now that's the stand-in for the Casa League, and let's see who the leading goal scorers are for the league. In the Masters League, you have the Legends with 16 goals, and you have Jermaine Anderson. He's the leading goal scorer with 8 goals. From Old Timers, you have DeMar Jacobs, and he has 7 goals in second place. And of course in third place you have Mr. Joseph St. Rumi with 5 goals. Those are the leaders of the Masters League in goal scoring. In the Super League, you have the Sharks of Palm Beach with 15 goals on their tab, and the leader, funny enough, both both first and second place scorers are from the Sharks. You have Mr. Canston with 5 goals and Mr. Coyote with 5 goals, leading the Super League in goal scoring, with Yuri of FC International 4 goals in third place. And there you have it, the update for the Casa Masters and Super League. Now we take a look at the Jamaica Premier League to see what's going on down there. And of course, over the weekend, we had several games played over the weekend. First game was Cavaliers FC going up against Portmore United, and Cavaliers defeated Portmore 2-0. And we have Humble Lion going up against Chapelton, and Humble Lion was victorious 4-0 over Chapelton. Next game was Montego Bay United going against Falkland FC, and Montego Bay United was victorious with a 2-1 victory. Next game was Vere United going up against Mount Pleasant, and of course Mount Pleasant has dropped in the standing in the last couple of weeks, but they were able to defeat Vere United 5-0 in this weekend game. And the last game we had on Saturday was Harborview going up against Malines, and that ended in a 1-1 draw. Now, a little bit of controversy in that game, where both teams showed up in the same color uniform, same color shorts, same color top, and the referee started the game. And halfway into the game, they realized that both teams had the same color. Go figure. Anyway, and then on Monday we had two games. We had Arnett Garden going up against Dunby Holden. Arnett Garden was victorious in that game, 1-0. And our final game Monday night was Tivoli Garden going up against Waterhouse. And Waterhouse was able to take down Tivoli Garden 1-0. Those were the games for the Jamaica Premier League over the weekend. And of course, the top 6 teams in the Jamaica Premier League right now is Cavalier leading the pack with 46 points, with Arnett Garden right behind them with also 46 points. Mount Pleasant, as I said before, they had fallen. They were on top of the league for several weeks. Now they're holding up in the 3rd position with 42 points. Harborview with 40 points in 4th place. Humble Lion with 39 points in 5th place, and in 6th place Waterhouse with 37 points. And there you have it with the Jamaica Premier League standing. And I think the leaders, goal scoring leaders for the Premier League, the top 5 goal scorers right now, you have Colin Anderson of Cavaliers with 15 goals. Chivani Stewart of Mount Pleasant in 2nd place with 14 goals. Fabian Reed of Arnett Garden with 13 goals in 3rd place. Dwayne Atkins of Cavaliers with 9 goals in 4th place. Jason Wright of Malines with 9 goals, and he's holding up the 5th place. Shaquille Bradford of Waterhouse with 8 goals, holding up the 6th place. Those are the top 6 goal scorers of the Jamaica Premier League. And there you have it, the updates of the CASA League right here in South Florida, and of course the Jamaica Premier League. Going to take a break, and when we come back, as I always promise, we have a special guest here with me today. So stay tuned while we go to a commercial break, and when we come back, I introduce my special guest to you.
Shan's Nails, the ultimate nail salon with the ultimate nail experience. Have your nail done by one of South Florida's best nail tech. Come on down and be pampered by one of the best in the business. At Shan's Nail Salon, everyone feels at home. Our nail techs will go above and beyond to ensure that you get the best of your experience. With a 5.0 Google review, who will want to go anywhere else? Shan's Nails is located at 3201 Inverara Boulevard. That's in Lauderhill. So call now and make your appointment at 954-444-1474. That's 954-444-1474. Visit Shan's Nails for the ultimate manicure and pedicure experience. They will leave you singing.
Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, beautiful day, it's a beautiful day, yeah.
This is Nigel Blair from BMG Tax and Accounting Services. Whether you're a small business owner, a manager at a medium-sized corporation, or a self-employed freelancer, the team at BMG Tax and Accounting Services is here for you. We offer comprehensive bookkeeping and tax services designed to keep your finances in check. Keeping track of your finances takes a fair amount of time, energy, and patience, and you probably have a lot of other things on your plate. So don't struggle to keep up with all that number crunching and paperwork. Our bookkeeping services are designed to make your life easier so you can focus on what you do best. test. At BMG, we're dedicated to client satisfaction, and we're prepared to go the extra miles to earn your business and trust. We pride ourselves on attention to detail in all that we do, and we're ready to put our skills and knowledge to work for you. For more information about our services or to schedule a consultation,
And welcome back to Flexx FM Sports Desk. Of course, yours truly, Nigel Blair here. And as before we go to the break, I promised you I would have a special guest for you. And I'm not going to go back on my word. I do have a special guest. With me here today, live in our studio, is none other than Mr. Todd Goodman, coach of American Heritage High School, and also DOC of West Pines United. Coach Todd.
Yes.
How are you?
Good, good.
Man, it's been a long time.
Yes, it has.
It's been a long time. You know, Coach, we have known each other for several years, back in the old West Pines days.
Yes.
Right? So I do appreciate having you here on my platform, and we're going to take some time to know who Todd is.
Okay.
Coach Todd,
Oh.
or Mr. Goodman.
First of all, let me thank you for the opportunity of being your guest here on the show, and also I want to thank you for the platform that you provide to the soccer community as well.
Appreciate it, Coach. Appreciate it. So, you know, let's jump right into it. Coach, tell me. I'm going to start this interview off in a different format.
All right.
Tell me, Todd, what early childhood?
Okay.
Who's Todd Goodman? Talk about your early childhood.
Okay. Right off the bat, I'll tell you a little story. When I was 12 years old, my parents moved from Southfield, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit. We moved to Miami, Miami Shores to be exact. And back in those days, there were more well-rounded athletes. You played all of the sports. It's not like it is nowadays to where at a young age they specialize in one particular sport. Back then you played all the sports.
Right.
So I played American football, I played baseball, I played lacrosse, I played tennis, I played all the sports. So I played all the sports with all my friends, the new friends that I had just met. I was 12 years old when I had moved here. So then they had tryouts for the soccer team, and this is Miami Shores Soccer Club. So I said, of course, my friends are trying out for soccer.
Why not?
Why not? Let's give it a go. So I tried out for the team, and after tryouts, back in those days, it's a little different than it is now. It's not like nowadays you receive an email, you receive a text, you receive some type of a message. Maybe it's up on the club's website. Back then, it was basically just not even a dry erase board.
Show up.
Yeah, maybe a chalkboard, or they just line kids up and said, you're over here, you're over there. So, make a long story short, tryouts are over, and they're picking the side. They're picking the team. So I look up afterwards, I look up on the board, on the first team, and I do not see my name.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I look at the second team, I do not see my name. So now remember, I'm a 12-year-old kid, okay, trying out for the sport for the first time. Thoughts start going through my head. Maybe they misspelled my name. Maybe they used my mother's maiden name, whatever the case. And then it dawned on me when I finally saw my name on the third team, it finally dawned on me that I hadn't made the first team nor the second team. So at that point, this little 12-year-old kid's eyes start welling up with tears. And back in those days, little boys weren't supposed to cry. And if you've ever tried to hold back tears, it only makes it worse. I mean, my tears probably could have filled up the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, I know how that
So, yeah. So, not only did I not make the team, now I'm crying, okay, in front of everyone, right? And that's a lesson in adversity. What do you do when adversity hits? That's a life lesson. Some people, maybe they quit, maybe they pack it in, maybe they're done.
Right.
Other people can use that as motivation.
It's great motivation too.
So, that little 12-year-old kid, okay, came back the next year, still didn't make the first team, but made the second team. Okay, so a little progress, okay? The following year, finally made the first team, went on to star for his high school team. I went to North Miami Senior High School, probably the best high school team to never win a state championship. That's our claim to fame. Went on collegiately, won a national championship at the junior college at the JUCO level, and then accepted a full scholarship to University of Central Florida, which is Division I, wound up playing professionally in 3 different countries. Now, the moral of that story is the adversity that I had come through when I was a 12-year-old child, okay, fueled the motivation that helped propel me to those type of achievements. And I always played, as well as I still coach, with a chip on my shoulder, because I always remember that little 12-year-old kid that didn't make that first team.
You know, that's a great lesson for young kids who are listening and watching you right now. That's a great motivation story, because looking back, I can see myself also in situations like that.
Sure.
But the key was never give up. Now let me ask you, because you played several sports when you were young. What made you choose soccer as the one to focus on?
I played American football up to probably around 14, 15. Okay, and when you are, I don't know, 5'8" and 140 pounds, American football may not be in your future. All right, so I really took to the real football. I really took to soccer, and just kept working on my game, improving my game. Fell in love with the game, fostered a passion for the game, and that's all I ever wanted to do.
Now, you mentioned in your story earlier that you went on to the collegiate level. You played in the collegiate level, and then you went and played in several different countries.
Correct.
Where did you go to play?
Well, coming out of UCF, it was in '85, and in that period of time, they didn't have outdoor professional soccer in the United States. It was in between when the NASL had folded, and I guess the new NASL or ASL was formed. So there was a period of time there where there was, again, not professional outdoor soccer. So I wound up playing for the Milwaukee Wave, which is an indoor soccer team. And that's the team that I played for here in the United States.
Okay, and then from there?
From there, and you know, in soccer, just like in life, sometimes it comes down to a little bit of luck and a little bit of timing, a little bit of being in the right place at the right time. So I was with Milwaukee, and then the following year, when my contract had terminated, I was picked up by the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Again, we're still talking indoor soccer. And I was thrilled. I was thrilled to be back in the state of Florida. I had gone to UCF, so I wasn't too far from where I was collegiately. It was wonderful. I was there for a few months. They called me into the office, and they told me I had been traded. Okay, so I said, okay, fine. Where am I traded to? And they told me Kalamazoo Kangaroos. Kalamazoo is in Michigan. Now, prior to that, I had played in the Haitian League down at the old Miami baseball stadium, if you remember those days. Now, when I was playing there, there was a gentleman in the crowd, a Jamaican gentleman, okay, who owned a team down in Jamaica. He asked me and my friend at the time to come down to Jamaica for a week to play against an exhibition game against the national champion. The national champion at the time was Wadada. Oh. Okay, so now I'm going back a ways. Yes, I'm going back a ways. So we went down there for the week, had a tremendous time. It was brilliant. I mean, we loved it. He asked us to stay. He offered us a contract. Me, again, I was with Tampa Bay. I was thrilled, so I turned it down. My friend still had a year left of eligibility. So now, when they told me that I was traded to Kalamazoo, I wound up going home, calling him, telling him that things didn't work out as originally planned, and the following day I had a ticket waiting for me from Air Jamaica to go down to Kingston. I played there for a couple of years, and again, right place, right time. He had brought in a scout from Israel. My coach, I played for a side in Kingston, Jamaica by the name of Swallowfield Football Club. He had brought in a scout from Israel who wound up taking me, Peter Cargill.
Of the Reggae Boys.
Exactly. And Paul Davis, T-Got Davis.
Also of the Reggae Boys.
Exactly. I stayed there for 2 years. Peter was there for...
This is in Israel.
This is in Israel, yes. I had played for 2 separate teams. Originally, I went to Hapoel Ramat Gan, which is in Tel Aviv, which is the south part of Israel. And then ultimately, I wound up with Hapoel Nazareth Elite, which is now Hapoel Nof HaGalil, which is in the northern part of Israel. So we went to three separate teams in Israel.
Wow.
So it just shows you. And that's something that I always try to relay to my players, no matter where we're playing, whether it's a state championship game, whether it's a scrimmage game, whether it's a practice, you never know who's watching.
Now, here's a funny story I'm going to tell you, and I've known you for years, right? Background. You were born in...
I was born in Newark, New Jersey, and we moved to Miami when I was 11 years old.
Now, are any of your parents from the Caribbean?
No.
No?
No.
You know, there's a lot of people watching this interview that's going to say, all these years we know Todd, we always thought he was from somewhere in the Caribbean.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe a little bit in the accent. Maybe I picked up some things here and there.
You stayed in Jamaica too long?
I don't know about too long. Maybe not long enough. One of the favorite countries I've ever visited in my life. We still go back now with my wife. Nowadays we go to Negril, but
we all do when we go down there tourists.
but we're foreign. But absolutely love the country, love the culture, love everything about it.
Nice. Okay, so now you're back in the United States, right? And where does that lead you as far as soccer? That it takes you now. We can now you have transitioned into coaching, right?
Right.
You're a coach of an elite high school, and you're also a coach of an elite club team, right? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I think I have the best of both worlds when it comes to club and it comes to high school. People may not know this, and I know you alluded to it initially when we started this, but we have a common denominator with your older son, Junie.
Yes.
Junie played for years for West Pines United, where I am now the director of coaching, and furthermore, Junie played for American Heritage Plantation High School, where I coach the boys team over there at the school. So in the high school, I run that program. So I run the boys program over there, which we have a middle school, we have a JV, a junior varsity, and then I coach the actual varsity team. And then over at club at West Pines United, I am the director of coaching, which means I oversee the operations of the club.
Coaches, the whole operation.
Yeah, coaches, players, parents, the whole operation.
That's great, Coach. Let's before we get to West Pines, let's talk a little bit about American Heritage.
Okay.
Right. As I said, an elite high school. You know, a team that has won many championships.
Okay. 8 to be exact.
See, you're on the ball. But let's talk about when you first took over the Heritage team.
Okay.
Right? I know at that point there were I would call it in a transitional period.
Yes.
Right, and you went on to take that team and rebuild to become another championship school to look forward to. Now, tell me, how was that transition for you?
Initially, the transition wasn't easy. You're coming into a team, a culture, a system of play that is different than your own.
Right.
In high school, you don't have the benefit that you may have in club, to where you have a big turnover and you can bring in players who you are looking to bring in to fit your style of play.
Right.
In high school, more or less, you have what you have, and then you've got to mold, you've got to create a team. So it was a little difficult initially, and then, it took a couple of years. This was now my 9th year at the program. So
Is it?
yes, so it took me, I believe approximately 3 years, because championship teams aren't built overnight.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's far and few when a Cinderella team appears out of nowhere and wins a championship. Now, it happens, sure. I mean, that's the beauty of sports. That's the beauty of athletics. But more times than not, it takes a series of years to cultivate that team into creating a championship. So I was able to win our first state championship, I believe, 4 years. Yes, 4 years into Heritage. We won it again this year. We've now won 3 state championships out of the past 5 years, but who's counting?
No, I was looking at the stats, years leading up to, when you took over, and of course they had, when my son was there, they won 3. Okay, and then there was a space in between there, right? And you came along and you were able to build it back to, and you also won 3 state championships.
Right.
That as a high school coach is a great accomplishment.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Not only that, coach of what? The year? How many times?
Again, who's counting? I've now won Coach of the Year on 8 separate occasions through 8 different organizations. And in the end, I can tell you, at American Heritage Plantation, which, as you know, is a college preparatory school,
right.
It is one of the top schools in the nation. Soccer is secondary. As much of soccer people as we are,
right.
and we eat, breathe, and live the game of soccer, at American Heritage Plantation, it's secondary. It's all about academics and the opportunities that they provide.
Right.
So with all the rings, all the trophies, everything that we've won, it pales in comparison to the amount of kids that we've been able to put into school. The amount of kids, whether they go on and play football or not at the next level,
right.
but the life lessons that we've taught and the amount of kids that go on to the next level collegiately, and not everyone's going to become a professional soccer player,
right.
okay, but they're going to become professional citizens and try to make this world a better place.
Great. And I can attest to that because, of course, my son went through 4 years of at American Heritage, and you're right. The academics that supersede everything else. You know, great sport program, and to go with that. Now, what's in store for you now at American Heritage?
Well, as I tell the boys, and we've experienced this a couple years ago, there's nothing more difficult than winning a state championship, which we just accomplished. The only thing more difficult than winning a state championship is defending a state championship, because everyone comes at you every game like it's their World Cup final. I mean, not only are you American Heritage Plantation, but now you're the defending state champion. You watch some of teams play against us, and then all of a sudden you watch them 2 weeks later play against somebody else, and you say, is that the same team? So, you know, that's the challenge that we have this year. We've lost some seniors like everybody else and like we do every year, but we certainly have some people ready to step up, and it's their turn, it's their opportunity.
Okay. You're not in season now, right?
No, not now. Our tryouts will begin in October, and the season runs to around the mid part of February.
Okay. And do you oversee the girls program also, or just the boys program?
No, two separate entities. I just oversee the boys program, but as you mention it, let me give a shout out to our girls program, who won the state championship this year as well.
Yeah, I noticed that. So all rounded.
Yes.
I guess you lead by example.
Well, I'm not sure who's leading.
Who won
but,
first?
What, this year?
Yeah.
They played before we played, so I want to say they played maybe on a Friday, we played on a Saturday.
So they set the trend.
They set the trend, and they put a little extra pressure on us, but thankfully the boys performed the way we all knew they would.
I tell you, I do follow you guys because, of course, God, my son went there. I'm a mater. Talk to me about West Pines.
Well, I've been with West Pines United now for upwards of 20 years.
Can't count.
20 years. Yeah, well, I can count to 20. 20 years.
When we first came to West Pine, we were playing like we were young kids.
Yeah. Times.
So you know how long ago that was?
Yeah. No. The time goes by quickly.
Oh, yes.
But like I said, I've been there for upwards of 20 years. Have watched the program grow. We're a community-based club, okay, and we provide players opportunities at all different levels of play. From a beginning type player to an advanced type player. We compete in local, state, regional, as well as national leagues. We've always had a long storied history of player development. We've always been the club known for player development. Our emphasis is player development within a team concept. We've been fortunate enough to be able to put our players to the next level. Collegiately, we've recently become an affiliate member of Inter Miami, the academy. So we've put some players over there to Inter Miami as well. So we really emphasize what's right for the individual player. And that's been our motto. That's something that hasn't changed through the year, and that's something that will never change. So when you come to West Pines United, it's a family. Okay. And I'm not just saying, a lot of people will try to say something like family, but there's just a different feel, there's just a different vibe, and there's pride in the jersey, and it's really a family And that's what I love so much about West Pines United.
Okay. For the what are the age groups at West Pines?
Well, now we've instituted an academy. So we start them, we start them a little earlier than we used to. So our academy starts at 5. We have upwards of about 80 children in our academy now, both boys and girls. And then the competitive side begins at 8. Okay. So we start at U9, okay, and we go all the way now to U19, both boys and girls.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Now for the parents who are watching with their young boys or girl that want to join the West Pines Club, how do they get in touch with you, with the club?
Well, they can go to our website, which is See, I'm a little old school. I'm still saying www. So it's westpinesunited.org. We do have tryouts right around the corner. So our tryouts begin on May 1st. They go through the first week of May. So we encourage everybody to pre-register for our tryouts. Come on out, take a look at our program, take a look at what we have to offer. We've got a tremendous coaching staff. We have arguably the finest facilities in South Florida. We're now over at Chapel Trail Soccer Park.
Okay.
Back when Junie was with us, we were over at Silver Lakes North primarily, which is a park that we still play out of, but our primary home is Chapel Trail Soccer Park, which affords us 4 full regulation lighted fields.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
A clubhouse, a training room, concessions. Like I said, arguably the finest facilities in South Florida.
Very nice, very nice. Now let's talk about some of your coaching skills. Question that, and I've asked many coaches these following questions.
Okay.
1, as a coach, right? How do you deal with criticism?
Criticism directed at myself?
Yeah, directed at your coaching.
Actually, I encourage constructive criticism, yes. I encourage that because I've got a staff of coaches, and on my staff, another common denominator, a couple of coaches that you know, and one coach who actually coached Junie. On my staff over at American Heritage, my high school, is Tony March, okay, who was Junie's coach over at West Pines United.
And I look forward to having him sitting in that chair.
David Cunningham, who's another long-standing coach over there at West Pines United.
Right.
And I do have a goalkeeper coach by name of Joe McIntyre. Okay. And after the matches, I encourage them, and we sit down as a staff, okay, and we critique. So that, I don't believe that you can grow as a person, as a coach. I don't believe that you can develop, because we all talk about player development till we're blue in the face. That seems to be the buzzword, right. Player development. But there's also coaches development. And it's a relatively simple game, but the game is ever evolving. The game changes. The players change. The systems, the formations, as coaches, sometimes we try to overcomplicate things. We try to overcoach from time to time.
Right.
To me, it's all predicated on a 4-3-3 and a 4-4-2. So we can call it whatever we want, and we can tweak it however we wish, which I do plenty of times as well, but that's where it derives from.
Right.
So getting back to your original question, whether it's at American Heritage, whether it's at West Pines United, I think the strength that I've been able to create is not having individual coaches with individual teams doing their own individual thing.
Right.
We're a staff. We're together. We feed off each other, and suggestions, comments, and that's how we all grow.
That's why you're so successful at what you do. You know.
And one more thing, having success, and this was not easy for me, trust me when I tell you, is the ability to delegate.
Right.
Okay, sometimes head coaches, they just want to do everything. Okay, but if you've got a staff and you surround yourself with the type of coaches that I've been able to do at both American Heritage and West Pines United, you've got to learn to delegate, and you've got to learn to give responsibility. And in the end, that's what a program
You
is.
have to put the trust in the people that you're delegating.
Precisely.
To, you know, the thing. Okay, so here's another stone thrown at you. Okay, dealing with the players is one thing.
Okay.
Parents.
Okay.
How do you deal with parents who saying that their kids are not getting enough playing time, or they're not playing in the right position? I mean, how do you deal with that? How do you handle it?
Well, I mean, that's always the most difficult issue when you get into competitive sports. I mean, my philosophy is minutes are earned, they're not necessarily given. Okay, now, with that being said, whenever you have the opportunity to provide those minutes, okay, as a coach, okay, that's your responsibility, okay? All of us as coaches, you get into certain situations, certain tense moments of a game where you can't make a change. I mean, that's understandable.
It's just part of the
Yeah, and that gets back to the philosophy that I have as that 12-year-old kid who forget about not getting minutes and forget about not playing in the position that his parents wanted him to play in. That gets back to that kid not making the team. So I'm always sensitive to that particular situation. Okay, but again, in the end, the players have to fight their own battles and use it as motivation. Now, what I like to pride myself in as a coach is I see the game a little bit differently than the average person. Meaning I've seen it as a player who's played at arguably one of the highest levels.
right.
I've seen it as a coach, I've seen it as a director, but most importantly, I've seen it as a parent. I've had both of my daughters, Maya and Leah, have both played the game as well. So I see the game from a lot of different angles. So when it comes to that type of a perspective in dealing with the parents, I like to think that gives me an edge over other directors when dealing with those sensitive type situations.
Well put, Coach. Well said. And as I looked up at the clock, at times is not allowing us to go as deep as we want to.
I feel we just started.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We just started. You know,
Well, maybe it'll be the sequel. When is the sequel? When's part 2?
sequel coming soon.
Soon come.
Soon come. Right? Now, you've played all over the world. You've played locally. You've done so many different things in the soccer world, right? With the young players, the young kids that are watching right now, right? Those who may have already started in the soccer world, who wants to get into the soccer world, right? What message would you give to the young players watching now to prepare themselves to play travel soccer or to be able to play at a school like an American Heritage?
Okay.
You know, what message would you give to them?
Believe in yourself. Always have confidence. Confidence to me is probably the differential factor in a player's ability. You see sometimes the best players, when they lose confidence, all of a sudden they struggle to perform. Right. So stay confident and believe in yourself. Don't let a coach take away your confidence. I'm getting back to that 12-year-old boy.
Right.
Don't let an opposing coach, don't let a player, an opposing player, believe in yourself, believe in your ability, realize your dream, set goals, but set realistic goals. Don't just set a goal, I'm going to be a professional soccer player, okay? Set small goals, which ultimately may lead to that opportunity. Start off maybe, again, that 12-year-old kid, make the first team, the second team in your age group. Go try out for ODP. Your high school team. If you get the opportunity to play in college. And that's one thing I want to touch on real quickly, because I hear a lot of these kids and all they do is walk around saying, you know, I'm going to play Division I, Division I, Division I. And college soccer should merely be the vehicle that enables you to further your college education. So at this point, it doesn't matter. I went the junior college route. It doesn't matter if you go junior college, NAIA, Division III, Division II, Division I. College soccer is college soccer. And it's not like divisions that you see in club to where there's Division I, Division II, Division III. Some of your Division III teams will beat your Division I teams.
Exactly.
Just, again, set goals for yourself. Set realistic goals, believe in yourself, have confidence, and no regrets. If something doesn't work out in the end, just be able to look yourself in the mirror and say you gave it everything that you could.
You gave it your all. You gave it your all. Coach, I do appreciate you coming on this platform. I tell you, you had a lot of information. A lot of things that I didn't know about you. I'm surprised myself that some of these things I didn't know, and we have known each other for so long.
Sure.
You know, but that's the foundation of this platform, is to put, you know, coaches like yourself, and so the world can see the things that you're doing. I mean, we can't say thank you enough for the time that you take to, I mean, groom our children.
Sure.
You know, and with not just the playing of the ball, but the love that you put into this thing, right? The love that you have for these children, for these players, you know. And I just want to thank you, and I'm sure my viewers want to say thank you, our American Heritage viewers, our West Pines viewers. Listen, if you see players drum team to come to you, I'm not saying that now, I'm just saying it's the tremendous job that you're doing. Once again, Coach, I want to thank you.
No, sure.
You know, thank you for showing up on my platform. And once again, to my viewers, locally, international, I want to thank you for taking the time out to be with us here on our platform today. And as usual, remember, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. right here on FlexFM.online, on Flexx FM Sports on your YouTube channel. I will bring you our latest in our CASA, our latest in our Jamaican Premier League, and I will always have a special guest for you right here on this platform to share their life stories and information that you can use to move on. Until next week, this is Nigel saying, see you there.
Sean's Nails, the ultimate nail salon with the ultimate nail experience. Have your nail done by one of South Florida's best nail tech. Come on down and be pampered by one of the best in the business. At Sean's Nail Salon, everyone feels at home. Our nail techs will go above and beyond to ensure that you get the best of your experience. With a 5.0 Google review, who will want to go anywhere else? Sean's Nails is located at 3201 Inverara Boulevard. That's in Lauderhill. So call now and make your appointment